Hello and welcome to Drakon video series. Today we are going to take a look the render workflow using the software and how to create our own renders from our models. So in this case, I have this Dragonfly where I want to create my render. You will see that here in the bottom we have the different display modes. So when we have the rendered display mode, this is the quick render. So you will see all the materials in real time. So it's quite fast. But when we go to the ray traces is where we apply the rendered materials when we want to generate our own renders. So what will happen is mainly the gems will be converted to the ray traced material, and it will calculate all the refractions for our gems. So it in this case, since we have a couple of gems in the model, it takes a little bit to convert. So it's done in the background. And then it will start calculating, as you can see here in the bottom, all the steps for the render. So you can see here the steps for the rendered to be calculated. We are using Cycles rendered engine, the one that comes with Rhino 8 by default. Of course, for those who are using other render plugins, it can be used as well. But in this case, we are showing the Cycles workflow integrated both in Rhino as well as Drakon. You will see the Drakon materials here, all the different list of materials in the document. I mean, you can select any of these to your document. So for instance, let's say that I want to apply a different material. I just select the gem in this case, and I select then any of the materials I want to apply. So the workflow is just selecting the geometry and then the material you want to apply. So let me zoom in so we can take a look, and it will start calculating the render. So every time we move the viewport, it will start all over again. You can see then it will start from zero again, all the steps. So it takes a little bit to complete the render, which means that when you start moving your objects, it will always start from zero. So let's see the different possibilities. You can, of course, select both metal or gems materials. Wherever you select on the document, it gives you the different possibilities. And apart from gems and metals, we can also select from other materials. You will see in here that we have not only metal and gems, but also many other possibilities. Under the material type, we can see here the drop-down possibilities. There will be a couple of more lists to consider. So let's apply, in this case, a ground plane. If we want to apply a ground plane, we can choose any of these. So let's use, for instance, this one, black texture. And in here you will see that you can adjust your position. So remember, always in ray traced it starts again computing. So it will allow us to select the desired position, and in here I will be able to select under the render settings, the resolution when I want to output my image, the render settings as well, both resolution X and Y, and the number of passes. So if I click on render, it will start generating the image to output the render. So let's see the result, starting computing our render. And you can see here in the bottom as well the passes. So by default we have 150 steps. So in here, when the render is done, you can just output the image, save the image you want. So for instance, let's save it here. You can choose any file format, define the name, and then save. You have different file formats available. In this case, I'm using JPEG, and then I just save it. So this is the quick render. So just to see how it works, But let's also show you the possibilities apart from this, what else we can adjust. There will be of course advanced settings both for material editing as well as render possibilities. So in this case, maybe I change here to a white uh, background, and let's see, for instance, what else we can adjust. Under the material settings, you will find all the list of materials available on the document. So you will see, for instance, in these gems, these are the ones used for the rendered. So not the one we are using now. We are using now the ray traced. So these ones are in here. So you can always select any of these and readjust the settings of the material, both for metal and gems. So you can see here the diamond, the all the different possibilities. You can see under the custom settings, adjust the color, so you can always readjust your gems, not only the color but also the index of refraction. So this will affect the gems render. In this case, of course, we are zoom out, so you can't really see the details. But when we zoom in, so in this case, you will see the different results you can get when adjusting the the material possibilities. See in here, for instance, for this gem. It will be available for all the different, not only gems, but as well as metals, so you can readjust your materials as needed. And also, one important thing when editing the materials, not only the materials, but also you can adjust the render options under this tab in here. So we can adjust in here the different possibilities, which means that all these render settings can be defined. For instance, when we use a studio for the reflections, in this case, the environment reflections for our, in this case, for it's the one used for our metal. So by default, we have the studio image, which one it's simulating the studio for the reflections, but you can always come back in here and edit or add your own HDRI image to set your own reflections. And also we use the gem map for the gem. So by default we add this when we apply a ground plane. So if I remove the ground plane, it will also remove that in the background, which means that this one helps us to render our gems more realistic, let's say like this. And apart from all these options, of course, there will be a couple of advanced possibilities, not only the of course this is the ones that affect more our render, the reflections, one for metal, other for gems. But also we will have a couple of possibilities of adjusting the ground plane if we want to show a material of, or if we want to show only a shadow. In this case, since we are defining a transparent background, it will, when using a shadow, it will automatically use the transparent background, which means that now if we create a render and we want the transparent background, we just need to remember to save it as a PNG file format to support the transparency. So this is the main idea in here in the advanced settings. Of course, there will be a couple more of advanced possibilities. This is just to show you the ones we are adding all the library by default. But if you want to customize your own materials, your own render options, you can come and use these different possibilities, both material and render, for advanced customization. So Mainly, this is the idea. We can any moment come back and, for instance, remove the ground and use it without the ground plane. Just would be a white ground. Of course, it also can be adjusted in here. The solid color of the background can be adjusted also to be customized. And mainly, this is the idea how to generate the render using the software. Remember, when I'm rotating here in the viewport, it always starts computing from scratch. So depending on your graphic card, it can be faster or slower according to your graphic card. And also important, if we want to, for instance, let's do a render for the different views in the document. We can right click here on the ray traced. So this one for the right click will apply to all the viewports on the document, and it will start rendering all of them. So remember, now, since we are doing 4 at the same time, it can take a little bit more. And all this depends on your graphic card. So remember, as powerful is your graphic card, faster is your render. And this is mainly the idea to render our models using the software. So I really hope you enjoyed. Let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to email us to support@drakon3d.com, and we are happy to assist. Thank you.